The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
All right, what is up, fight fans? We are back for another episode of Combat Deviants here on the Belly Up Sports Network. I'm your host, as always, Stephen Rochelle, and joining me tonight, kicking things off is no stranger here on Combat Deviants. Is the man himself, Mr. Joshua Oxendine, the Preacher's man. How you feeling tonight, my friend? How's everything feel? We're 1 week out, first title shot.
Yeah, man, it feels good. Finished training camp today. Got some finished sparring in with some champions in boxing, and yeah, man, about to eat after this, and then time to cut weight now. The hard part, the cutting weight.
Small meal tonight?
Huh?
Small meal tonight?
Yeah, small little meal. And then yeah, like you said, man, it's time to cut weight and go win a title.
You know, obviously, weight cutting's been an issue. Obviously, former UFC fighter Ray Borg, tried to make the transition to Bellator. Again, having another, major weight cutting issue. Winds up getting cut from the promotion and things. Everything that happened. Post weigh in. Management cut him. He wound up retiring from combat sports altogether. We talk about it all the time. Weight cutting, is there enough weight classes? Sometimes guys are trying to stay at weight classes that probably they've grown out of over the years and just murdering their bodies for absolutely no reason. Is it one of these things that you think combat sports need to do a little bit more with athletes in between fights with having like they need to be at this percentage, or is it just the responsibility of the athlete to keep them within the proper range?
I would say just cut out altogether weight classes, man. Like, make you fight at your walk around weight. Find out your weight 6 weeks before the fight, and you have to fight at that weight. You know what I'm saying? So weight cut is killing people. We all do it. I do it. We cut a lot of weight to fight, but it sucks. But everybody's trying to get an advantage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. You see what's going on with over in BKFC. You just had Rafael win, and he's demanding that the heavyweight fight takes place at like 285 or something like that.
That's crazy.
I mean, I get it. Like, he's getting older. Like, it's harder to get some of that pain. Just create a super heavyweight division for the guy and be done with it. Like,
yeah,
why do we have to sit there and have this conversation in media now? You see, Ben called it out. I think Alan had made a couple videos about like the whole situation, since Alan obviously beat Arnold and
yep.
his last fight to win the title. I don't know, man. Like, I get what BKFC is doing. I get what Ben's trying to do, but that's another one of those situations where we need to have some type of continuity with weight divisions, weight classes, where promoter and or athlete have no say over what it is.
Yeah, it's we need to switch to the boxing rules, which you got the 140 division, 135, 130. You got divisions every 5 pounds to help people, so they don't feel like they have to. I think
the biggest ones you have is when you get up there in heavyweight, because there's in MMA there's 205, then it jumps to 265 is the heavyweight.
205, 225 to 265. Yeah,
there should be a cruiserweight if that's what you want to call it, something in between light heavyweight and heavyweight, but you also need something between, you need heavyweight and super heavyweight, because there are some guys who are above the 65-pound limit that you'd love to see scrap.
Yeah, there's some big boys, man. Thank God I'm not that big. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, right.
They hit like tanks over there.
And then that even being said, I mean, we've seen, I mean, Alan Belcher, when we first seen him on the scene in MMA, I mean, he was a UFC middleweight. You know what I mean? Now we're sitting there. What, it's been 10 years since he was, one of the big names in, headlining UFC events. When he had his big fight with Akiyama. Now you're looking years later, and he's a heavyweight in bare knuckle. It's fun to see some of these guys who are able to obviously that they have skills that that hasn't diminished. Maybe MMA isn't the greatest thing in the world because there's so many different things that you have to be more than proficient at to be one of the best fighters in the world. I think, if some of this, if bare knuckle was what it is now 10 years ago, it'd be interesting to see. We've had the conversations like who are, who our Mount Rushmore would be and things of that nature. I want to do a little funny one here, right? So if you're put like, what was it? Yesterday was May 4th. Everyone's Star Wars fans, right? Are you a Star Wars fan, Josh?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Oh, man.
But May the 4th be with you.
So you wouldn't have your own Jedi Knights of BKFC guys you would want to take in like a tournament with you representing your team?
Who would I want to fight against, or who I
if you're creating a team not only that would help to build you to be a better fighter, but who would go into battle as well with you, like you see crazy things in MMA where they have like 5-on-5 fights, right?
Oh,
you're gonna see some crazy nonsense like that in BKFC. Who would be, your Sith Lords, your Jedi Masters that you would want alongside you?
Shoot, I would just go my team for. I got guys at BYB, guys at BKFC. So Tony, Loco, Soto. That's my team.
He's got a big one coming up. Him and Mr. Goodjohn have been throwing them words on social media like crazy.
Yeah, that's my teammate. We just finished camp together. Trucking, Maurice Morris, Ryan Jett, Maurice Morris. They both fight the same night with me with BYB. Trucking fights on the undercard, Carson. On Tony Loco's card. So shoot, I just roll my dogs I train with every day, you know what I'm saying? Like,
ain't nothing wrong with that. You might as well go with guys you already know, right?
Yeah, we dogs over here, you know what I'm saying? I don't need no guys I don't know. I could care less about whoever else it is. If you ain't with me, you against me, you know what I'm saying? So if you ain't on my team, bump you know what I'm saying? So
speaking of which, I seen something come across BYB's thing. Your opponent's comments,
man, he's so gay, bro.
Leading up to his fight. It sounds like he's looking past you, bro. It sounds like he's trying to angle some things in some other fights. What's going on here?
He's so gay, bro. I don't pay him no attention, man. Like, bro, he's a complete clown. I let him talk.
He's a kid. Listen, we all know in combat sports, some guys adapt characters and things of that nature.
Yeah, you got to
play into it too much. Some people have fun with it. Like, I don't think he's 100% serious with some of the stuff.
Nah, he can't be. If he is, he's delusional. He's a clown. But I think he just puts it on because, he sells tickets, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. It's about selling tickets. I know he's probably a good guy, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I say it all the time. Like in combat sports, y'all don't need to hate each other at the end of the day. I don't. For the 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 25 minutes you guys are in there, obviously ain't no love lost. But 9 times out of 10, the guys you guys wind up fighting, y'all gonna have a beer afterwards. 9 times out of 10.
True. Like, you know what? We're going to go in there. We're going to fight for a world title. You know what I'm saying? Win or lose, doesn't matter who else. We getting paid. Everybody's going to know our name. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going to know our name. And And I'm gonna shake hands with him after. I know him. I don't know him from Adam and Eve. He lives in Cali. I'm in North Carolina, so
That's probably
never
what
going
it is, man. It's
never going to
some
see him
people's
again.
like when you have the California guys kind of mentalities when you have conversations with guys in the Midwest, guys on the East Coast, they don't really tend to rub too well.
Nah, it's we professionals. We gotta do a job. We gotta go in there and fight. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? That's
yeah.
what we're gonna do. We're gonna fight.
I mean, it's going to be a fun event. I just had Jamie Driver on
That's my
last
dog.
week ahead of the big fight with her, Josette Cotton.
Yeah, that's my
As you said,
dog.
your boy Jett's going to be on. I got Trevor Ollison coming on the last half hour as his opponent. So
Yeah.
there's always fun matchups, fun stuff going on in combat sports in bare knuckle. But I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you if you didn't catch last weekend's BKFC with the two UFC stars facing off, and I gotta say, wasn't surprised. Wasn't
Nah.
surprised whatsoever. Luke Rockhold is a Muay Thai kickboxer. He always has been. I didn't think he was gonna make it. I didn't think he was gonna win. I didn't think he was gonna look impressive if he did. It was just
Nah.
the fact that he was able to keep Mike at the end of his punches. That if Mike had got inside, it was over.
Yeah, everybody knew what was going to happen there.
He's a kickboxer. Is he?
Yeah.
I don't mean to be that guy, man, but he's a kickboxer. He's not a bare knuckle nothing. He's
I'm
going
gonna
back
tell
to
you,
MMA if he does anything in combat.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it like this: like, I respect every person that gets into bare knuckle, because you gotta be a dog. Like, they say all the UFC's like the pinnacle, right? Da da. That don't mean you're a dog. You know what I'm saying? Because you in the UFC, you might be technical, better than somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might have fought 5 guys as boxers, and you a all-American wrestler, and you took them down and beat them that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you in the UFC doesn't mean you're a dog. Now you come in a bare knuckle and you start knocking people out. Yeah, you're a dog. You know what I'm saying? You're a straight dog. I wouldn't mind any guy at 135 from the UFC come to bare knuckle and ask me to fight him. I fight him in a heartbeat. Because I can get dropped and get right back up and knock you out. I did my last fight. Or I can just knock you out in 40 seconds. I did that my first fight. So either one, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can stand there and we can bleed for 15 minutes and beat each other to death. Or I can just finish you quick. Either one you pick, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm ready for it. So, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, guys talking about they're the best in the world because they're in the UFC. They don't, you that don't mean you're a fighter, you know what I'm saying? Because you good at one thing. Like, if you can get there, let's fight. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we say it a lot, man. It takes a different type of athlete, of man, of woman to be in bare knuckle boxing. We've seen it, man. Guy like Rockhold is just another one. We did the same thing with Greg Hardy. You had Josh Watson run him out after one fight. Had another guy in BKFC calling him out 2 weeks later, was talking about he was going to stick to the sweet science. And I think even furthermore, I think I've seen him taking a job at Walmart at somewhere in Texas recently. I think it's beyond hilarious. We know what it is, man. You like it is a different type of fighter to be in bare knuckle.
Yeah, you gotta be a little crazy and you gotta be a little, a little nuts. But you gotta be tough, man. I've been fighting all my life in the backyard. I grew up fighting. That's what we do. People take my kindness for weakness because I'm a minister, man. I'm a preacher. But that don't mean I ain't no dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still smack the crap out of you. Come at me sideways. But I just like to fight, man. I love to fight, and I can't wait for next week.
Yeah, I mean, and next week is obviously something special for you. Big fight. Like you said, Mark's a guy not to be shied away from, not to forget, not to be taken lightly. Obviously, memory serves me. He works down there at Ian McCall with him and his gym. He's got some good people around him, without a doubt.
Yeah, I know. I never underestimate I never underestimate no guy, no opponent, no matter record, no matter who he trains with, what he does, because in bare knuckle, everyone's dangerous. In bare knuckle, it just takes one slip up, you get caught, you go out. Doesn't matter how much you beating somebody up. Bare knuckle is different, man. You can't take nobody lightly. You got to, expect for, everything. You got to be ready for everything. So I take nobody lightly. I just know what I can do. And I know if I land, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? I hit like a 185, or like when I hit you, I leave prints, hours later. So, but like I said, we're gonna have to go in there and fight. Like, you can't really game plan. Like, everybody say, "Oh, I got a plan." Everybody got a plan until they get hit in the mouth. Tyson said it best. And in bare knuckle, once you get hit clean, that plan goes straight out the window. So
it's funny you bring up Mike, because I was gonna bring up something. I came across this picture the other day. Right now, here's this picture of both Brock Lesnar and Mike when they're like 15 and 16 years old. Right?
That's crazy, bro.
You get stuck in an alley sitting there saying you got to fight one of them dudes, or you just curling up in a ball and just
I'm gonna shoot him.
nothing important, or what?
I'm gonna shoot him, bro. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna shoot him, dog. Straight up. Like, I was in the Marine Corps for no reason.
Both of them guys were freaking just amazing athletes when they were before they were even men, man.
Yeah, they different, man.
The funny thing is, like, we talk about Brock, like Mike was still a big boy when he was 16. He had, like, we talk about, like, I'm gonna pull that one back up again. That, like, literally, like, we talk about Brock having no. Mike is like a freaking a soda can right there. He has no. Imagine trying to like how MMA was. You imagine trying to have him in the guillotine. It's not gonna work.
You're going to destroy your arms trying to check his.
Your arms are going to be roasted, and then next thing you know, he's going to be hitting you with the freaking lunch pails that he has for hands.
Exactly. Nah, I'm good, bro. I stick to the 135, 145, 155. I'm a fat boy. I'm going to move up soon.
Is that the plan? Like, I mean, obviously, you're still like within your first year or two in bare knuckle from your transition over. Are you gonna stay at this? You're talking about moving up, so obviously lightweight isn't gonna be your final destination in bare knuckle.
Nah, I'm here just because of just to fight Mark, probably. I'm gonna end up moving up probably to 145, 155, to be honest. Sooner or later, because your boy chunky. But I'm very disciplined in my training and disciplined with my weight cut, weight loss. But yeah, I wanted to make this last run at 135, see what I can do with it. And, after this, go back to the drawing board. I get married in my 10-year anniversary in Mexico in July. So go ahead and finish this fight off, and then enjoy some vacation time.
So August, September, hopefully we'll see you back again.
Yeah, I should. I should be back in about September, October. I'm gonna let my body rest a little bit. I've been killing it. I mean,
obviously, if the plan is to test it, how everything go up a weight class, obviously you're gonna put at least some time into it to kind of work that in properly.
Yeah. You don't want to go in there sluggish. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not just sluggish, but like everyone was making fun of John Jones before he made the move up to heavyweight, right? They're like, oh, he's a fat boy now. I'm like, okay, he's a fat boy now. Gotcha.
Yeah, but you got to learn how to carry that weight. You got to learn how to move with that weight. You got to see how much you can go before you get exhausted with that weight.
And he also had the advantage of not being currently active and had almost 2 years to test it out.
Yeah, so
that's not a really fair sample size,
Correct. Yeah, correct. So I'm not in this game long anymore. It's winding down. My daughters wants to fight soon. They want me to start training them in boxing, and because I own a boxing gym, so they want to get serious about it. And I told them, I help them once I hang it up. So the goal is to train them and get them right. So they can start getting in some amateur boxing now, and and start doing some competitions and stuff. So soon I'll be hanging it up. I just make a little bit more money, get a little more wins under my belt, and then just say I'm the best overall in the Southeast. Like, I just want to be, remembered as a dog. Like, hey, Joshua fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. MMA, boxing, bare knuckle, doesn't matter. I want to be remembered as that guy that was a straight dog. And then bring up some champions. You know what I'm saying? I got 3 little girls. They all want to fight, so just raise some champs.
That's probably where you like you, as much as like athletes we like the whole like where they're remembered, their ego on some things as their most, like how people remember them as they competed, but sometimes we've seen more often than not sometimes what people give back afterwards, being a coach, being a trainer, being things of that nature tends to be the biggest impact that we have on people's lives, not just other people that wind up going through our gym, but as you're talking about the little ones, man, like we look at it, like even not just in combat sports, but just in sports in general. We're watching all kinds of athletes, kids who were killing stuff, in the NBA, in the NFL 20 years ago. Now we're starting to see their kids come through. Joey Porter's son was just drafted in the
NFL by the same team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. So
and then you have what was it, Asante Samuel? His
son went to the Chargers.
His son is making big waves. You had Joe Horn, his son Jace.
He plays for Carolina
Panther. So like and then we look at I've talked about it on here plenty of times. You go and look in the combat sports world. You have Racine Rockman's son. He's boxing. You have Kenzie Morrison, Tommy Morrison's son, who's boxing. So you see a lot of this time, like these athletes that sometimes you don't know if it's the dad or it's the son, because baseball fans remember most. Everyone was thought Ken Griffey Sr. was great till the kid came around and said, you know what? So, sorry, Dad, I'm gonna be the most memorable Griffey.
Right. And that's what I wanted to be, right? I got 3 daughters, and I want everybody to be like, you know what? They are way better than their dad. You know what I'm saying? Because they are. Like, my kids have been in the gym since they came out of their mother's womb. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing they know. I didn't start until I was 14 years old. But they got 14-year jump on me. So hopefully by the time they're 14, they're just murdering people. To be honest, so we'll see. I'm taking it slow with them right now because I'm always fighting, but my kids, they sparring, working and grinding already. I just ain't putting them in competitions yet until I can really focus completely on them.
Yeah, man, it's the fun part, man. I remember watching my kids their first few like jiu-jitsu tournaments and stuff like that. It's it's hard not to be the cheerleader dad sometimes.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be. I'm going to be because they cheer for me every fight. So
don't be the crazy dad. That's all, bro.
I'm already crazy, man. I'm crazy.
Obviously, right? We're in bare knuckle boxing, getting ready to vie for one of the major titles. So
you got to be a little crazy to do that, right?
Yeah, obviously. You know what I mean?
A little crazy or nuts, but. Yeah, I'm excited, man. Like, it's not everybody asking me, like, oh, like they making all these videos, they doing all this stuff.
Well, you gotta hype it up, but like it's like one of these things. It's like it's just another fight, but it's not just another fight.
It's not like it's just another man I gotta fight. Like, it's not as big as everybody's making it to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just another fight. Like.
But that's also because you got to remember, like, what we were taught, like, what title fights were when we were growing up in the boxing world. Anytime a title was on the line, it was a big event. So our perception of how it was when we were taught what combat sports was and what boxing was and things of that nature is these are big events. This is a major thing. So of course people around you are gonna be like, oh man, are you nervous? How you feeling? Like,
people ask me. I'm
sure, but by the time this week is over, but before you get to the fight, you're gonna be like, if I don't hear another, how you feeling this week? I'm
tired of hearing it, to be honest. Like, I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna get in there and fight. Like, like I could care less. Like, you still gotta throw your jab, you still gotta throw your cross, your hooks and your uppercuts, so you gotta move. It's just like I do every day.
Everyone forgets about the move them feet.
You gotta move them feet. But like, it's same thing I do every day. Like, this is my life, you know what I'm saying? Like, boxing's my life. I own a boxing gym. You know, I train with boxers, I help pro fighters, I help amateur fighters. Like, you know, like, it ain't something that I do like 2 days a week. You know what I'm saying? This is Monday through Saturday for me. So like, me getting there in the fight is just like, okay, you know, like, I just got done doing 10 rounds, like nothing, you know, with WBO champion. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not something that's like, oh, it's the lights, I'm nervous. You know, I've been in main events plenty of times in MMA and boxing and bare knuckle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like this is my first main event fight. This is not my first championship fight. I fought MMA in championship. I was an amateur champion in MMA. So, like, it's not like pro. I fought pro MMA championship as well. Like, it's not like it's my first big fight, you know? Like, my MMA fight was bigger than this because I sold like $30,000 worth of tickets. So, like, I had it packed out to the max in there. That was big. Like, this is just like, all right, let's just go punch this dude in the face and see who can punch harder and who gets knocked out. Like, that's what's fun to me. Like, I just want to see if he can knock me out or I can knock him out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, I don't know. Bare knuckle is different, man. Like, MMA makes you nervous, but to me, bare knuckle is like, it doesn't really make me that nervous to fight.
I still think it's because it's just like we talk, like we say it, and I say it so many times on here, and like there's so much a game of inches. Like, we hear it about in football all the time, but combat sports, man, it's just it's the game of inches within the game of inches within the game of inches.
Yeah, it's like in boxing, like, you know, you can parry a jab, you can parry punches, you can move, you can get hit a couple times and keep moving. MMA, you know, you can have a game plan. If they're a boxer, you're a wrestler. If they're a wrestler, you're a boxer. Keep them on their feet, jiu-jitsu. And bare knuckle, you just gotta fight. Like, you can't really have a game plan, to be honest. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta go there and put your hand on their chin.
At the whole Luke Rockhold thing, because he was acting like a complete jackass at the weigh-ins and all the other stuff, right?
All that stuff goes out the window when you have to fight.
Right. As soon as you get in there and get cracked, it's like, oh wait.
Oh yeah, this ain't MMA no more, dog. You can't just take a lick like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I can't keep you at distance with my kicks anymore. Oh shoot.
No, you can't do that. So like, bare knuckle is different. Like, just go in there and fight. Like, who gives a crap? Like, nobody's gonna talk junk. Why? Because they ain't getting there to fight. You know, you gotta be a dog to fight bare knuckle. So like, win or lose, if you winning, you know, good job. You just lucky all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you ain't got caught yet. But you know, like, bare knuckle's different. I love it. Like,
yeah, I'm all about it. You can't hide behind the gloves. You can't, you know, especially, you know, in BYB with the trigon, man. You can't hide in that ring.
Nah, you can't hide. You got to fight.
But
you know what I'm saying?
Still said and what you brought to the table that day.
Yeah, you got to throw hands. You got to be ready. And you know, May 13th, next Saturday, we're gonna see who's truly ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can move around the cage or the ring and throw jabs all you want to, but that's not going to save you. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you get hit with a hook or a cross overhand, it's going to change your whole life. So I'm excited to see the whole card, man. The whole card is fire.
Yeah, man. I was actually just about to ask you about that. Obviously, you're the main villain. You know, you have some teammates on there. You have some mutual friends. Who's going to be the one you're going to be peeking over at the screen to see if you can hop on there and see who's going to win or lose? Who's the one you're going to
Obviously, you know, I'm rooting for my boy Maurice, my boy Jett, because, you know, they're teammates, you know what I'm saying? They're family. I've been rocking with them boys for a long time. You know, the Lion, you know what I'm saying, my boy. But, you know, Jamie, that's my girl, man. You know what I'm saying? She's a fight before mine. So I'm going to be in the back warming up and, you know, about to walk out. But, you know, be watching the TV screens and watching her put on a show. And and excited to see her win a belt and now to win a belt, and we do it the same night. So it's pretty.
I
We go
already
way
told her I
back.
might
We
be a
go
little
way back.
partial because when she first started getting into MMA, she trained over here at Henzo Gracie, and that's where my girls trained at the time. So I used to see her on a consistent basis. So definitely got gonna cheer from her because she has a little Philly in her. Obviously, if you had a conversation with Jamie, you would know that. But
Good dog.
she's definitely one I'm definitely interested on seeing if she can obtain the belt on top of, as well as you, Josh. You know how I like to do things at the end is throw the proverbial microphone over you, brother. Anyone you'd like to thank, training partners, teammates, shoot at the social media sites, any sponsors you might have. The floor is yours,
man.
brother.
And I just want to shout out to all my whole team. All three of my gyms, all three boxing gyms I've been working at. All my teammates fighting on a card with me, fighting on a card with BKFC as well. The night before, so shout out to all them guys who've been in there grinding. So hopefully we go 6-0 these 2 nights. And shout out to God, my Lord and Savior. If it wasn't for Him, I wouldn't be here. So I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Y'all have a blessed night, man.
All right, Josh. As always, appreciate the time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Best of skill to you. Come the 13th. Hopefully, you get out there with that hardware, brother.
Yes, man. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
All right, everyone. That was Joshua Oxendine. And flipping gears, going right into our next guest of the evening. He is Mr. Erick Lorenzo. How we doing this evening, brother?
Not too bad. How about yourself, man?
Dude, I'm getting pulled 3,000 different directions. We were talking about it, but as we had to reschedule things last week, both you and Josh had stuff going on. I still have stuff going on in my life. It's the way we go about things, man. Getting pulled all over the place.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I had a family issue come up last week, so I couldn't make it on, but I'm here now.
Man, ain't nothing to worry about, man. We all got go through peaks and valleys in life, and life finds ways to humble us in all kinds of different ways at times. But hey, man, you're here. We're gonna have some fun. Let's talk about some fun stuff. Obviously, big one for you a few weeks ago. 54 seconds. Took Mr. Richie out of there and sent him home. Couldn't have been happier with that result, right?
Yes, sir. I seen that he was vulnerable to that overhand right, so I had been working that 1-1 overhand, and then I set up a nice feint and caught him with the straight 2, or that overhand 2. So that was pretty exciting because I had planned on it. It worked out just the way I planned.
Yeah, and obviously another one this past weekend for BKFC. I want to get your thoughts on it. I've been kind of putting it out there. Was not surprised with what Mike Perry did to Luke Rockhold in any way, shape, or form. Nothing against Luke. I just kind of felt his style's more of a kickboxer, Muay Thai guy. He wasn't really, not really that gritty type of athlete we see make it in BKFC. Were you surprised to see what Platinum Mike did to him?
Not at all. I knew Mike's gonna come in and throw heavy punches like he always does. I don't think Luke was ready for that, but it was. I never thought Luke would have quit from a punch, but then again, his tooth popped out, and it was an ugly punch.
Sometimes you get cracked and you feel that pressure up in there, and he's like, you know what, I'm good.
Yeah.
I mean, I say it a lot on here, man. Like, especially when we talk to a lot of you bare knuckle fighters. It's different. It's not the same thing in MMA. It's not the same as boxing. You have to be a different type of person, not just fighter. You just have to be a different type of person to be able to do what it is to be a top level bare knuckle boxer.
Yes, sir. It is different. It's, for me, the first time around, it was I like throwing like spinning back fists, spinning back kicks, and it was awkward for me. I was a little lost. I was out of my element, but I felt great coming into this next to my second fight against Richie, and it showed. I felt more comfortable in there, and I just needed to let my hands loose.
I mean, sometimes that's what it takes is just getting acclimated to what it is to be in there, to be successful, the things of that nature. As you were saying, like coming from where you were in MMA, some of that spinning stuff is just some of the stuff you had fun with and could do a lot more easily or that than when it comes to bare knuckle where. It's not all sweet science, but it's not just you can't just go in there and brawl at the same time.
Right. It's more boxing and it's a lot more technical, if you want to put it that way. It's you can't do spinning backs. You can't. I mean, there's more rules to it, and so I felt a little awkward. Like when I fought Lorenzo, he kept on going to my left. And typically in a MMA fight, I would throw a spinning back kick or a spinning back punch because he's going that way. And I wanted to throw it, but you just can't do it in bare knuckles.
So when you're in there with the champ, you're like, you know what? Let me still sitting here thinking about
let me sip this fucking back punch.
That tells you it takes a while to beat habits out of you, especially when you're so like people don't understand like when you're training for stuff and you guys are just drilling stuff, and that's why guys tend to do things is because you've built these tendencies up through training X,
right.
Y, and Z. But as you're going and you're going from being the mixed martial artist to now just being the boxer or just being the bare knuckle boxer, it's conforming and things. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how some of the athletes develop over the next few years who are making the jump over from MMA to bare knuckle boxing, etc. We're already seeing the first wave of it now, I guess we would say. And, some people are calling it the UFC fighters are making the jumps. I just think people who are natural strikers who were in MMA because that's where they were getting the better offers, etc. I think the age that we're in now is just where combat sports as a whole is really going to take off, not just MMA, not just boxing, not like combat sports is in a really interesting time where everyone has opportunities. Like, when we were 10 years ago, it was either you were in the MMA or you were the top boxer in the world. And that was the only way for you to be able to be a star in combat sports, period.
I agree. I think it's blowing up, especially BKFC. And we're getting, I mean, we had Connor in the ring the other day, and that's pretty exciting. And
yeah, I mean, my son was like, Dad, because my son's name's Connor too. He's like, Dad, do you see McGregor was? I'm like, yeah, I see. The question is when does that happen? I mean, it's not a question of if. We already know. I think a lot of us know he's going to fight out his contract with the UFC and walk away. He's going to do exactly what Nate did, and he's going to take opportunities elsewhere. I think wherever he's going to sign is going to be a one-fight deal or non-exclusivity where he can where he can fight wherever he can. And I think BKFC, bare knuckle, bare knuckle boxing, what promotional, whatever. The bare knuckle is something that he was always going to do, in my opinion.
Right.
When you really think of it, sport's kind of made for someone like Connor, somebody who can bring excitement in that way, but also, he could back it up with his hands in there.
Right.
He's not a guy who is going in there and he's a natural grappler, wrestler, or whatever, trying to make the conversion over. He is a striker. So it's interesting to see when he gets over there, and then what weight class is it going to be? Is he going to fight at 85?
Right.
Because that's what he's looking more like these days, right? He's looking more like
he's big right now. He's a big boy right now. So I would like to see George Masvidal on there. I know he retired and was hanging it up, but
he also think he's got his own promotion where if he wanted to fight, he's probably going to fight for his own promotion.
Yeah, and that's bare knuckle MMA.
And he has game bred MMA. He has bare knuckle whatever that he has. So he has the opportunity, and I think we will see George in a few years.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
I think once he's officially cleared to be of that UFC contract, I think it takes either 6 or 9 months before it clears for him to be done with the contract. But I think he's someone we will see return. It has to be the right fight. It has to be the right time. It has to be the right matchup. I think he's at the point where, at the end of his career, like everyone, I know a lot of people were hard on him about some of the losses he took and things of that nature. But I still think he's one of the guys that is just one of the OG bare knuckle period. And when we're talking about everyone
from
talks
back
about
in the day with
Jorge Masvidal was also fighting on that same video as Kimbo Slice.
Yeah,
Kimbo was just the name everyone gravitated towards. Right. I still think Jorge should get just about as much credit on his name as Sir Kimbo.
As Kimbo. Yep, he's one of the OGs, one of the ones that was back there with Kimbo Slice and getting down in those backyard brawls. They were fun to watch.
Making you feel old now watching these guys retire, like a lot of the guys that we watched in the early 2000s, even getting to the late 2000s. Some of these guys are walking away now, hanging the gloves up.
Yeah, for me, I'm older myself, and I only have a couple more fights, maybe a year, 2 years left in me. It's taking a toll on me. It takes a lot of time, dedication to continue to do this type of sport. I know I was nursing my knee, so my cardio, I was having trouble dropping weight the way I wanted to for this last fight. So I had to cut a little bit of water weight. I came in there looking heavy. I think I did everything right. Rehydrating, drinking a liter of fluids every hour on the hour. So, and I was able to gain, I believe it was like 20 pounds after weigh-in. So
as one of the things I was just talking with Josh, because we seen what happened to Ray Bork a few weeks ago, man. He was having problems with, making weight in the UFC, winds up getting released, signs a deal with Bellator, can't make the weight again. Then, we've seen the circus act that just came out between his management letting him go, him being cut, him retiring and everything like that. It's just one of these weird situations. Like, I know we have a lot of weight classes and there's a lot of opportunities in the sport, but is there something we should do? Just have fighters fight at a more natural walking away stuff, so we don't have to see, this fighter looking like, he's just had 9 lives sucked out of him because he's so drained out that there's barely any water in his body whatsoever.
Yeah, it's tough cutting weight. It's tough. Like
on the scales, it's something I don't think anyone really wants to see.
But it's part of the game, and if you do it right, there shouldn't be any issues. Sometimes we all deal with us as fighters. We deal with adversity in the fight game, and every camp there's a couple injuries here and there. Nothing too serious that we're not used to. So, but making weight is pretty tough in itself. Once in a while, when you're nursing an injury like for example I had in this last one, my knee was pretty bad. It was swollen. It wasn't giving me the way I cut is I run a lot, and I wasn't able to do that. But I made weight, and like I said, I was focusing on rehydrating correctly, and I did, and I felt great going into the fight.
I mean, that's the important part. Like we know when it get older, them joints are a little bit rougher. It's harder to run the miles to get that weight out. So, you're sitting there saying we've only got a few more years left. So what are some of your future plans?
I'm trying to get another top 5 guy, and I know Mandel was betting against me, and I mean I understand because he had just fought Richie and stuff. I would like to see Mandel or another top 3 opponent. I wanna eventually get the rematch with Lorenzo Hunt, and I'll fight whoever they put in front of me to make that happen.
Yeah, man, it's Lorenzo's in a unique situation. Just probably had his hardest fight and his probably most emphatic knockout that he's probably ever had in his career. That was a fight that he needed to have, that they needed to have. hopefully that's something we can see them run back at some point in time. But
right.
Let's get a couple more fights back in and see what happens. But it's a really interesting part in that weight class where there's a lot more life in it now than it was when we first kind of really blowing this thing up about 2 years ago. If you could lay out a perfect game plan for you for the next few years as you wrap it up, like you said, Mundell, you'd like to get back in there with Zoe again. Are there any super fights that you would put together for yourself? Obviously, with the influx of talent coming in from other promotions, other MMA fighters, coming in. Who would you like to welcome to BKFC? If X fighter or B fighter would want to come over?
Well, it doesn't really matter to me. I've already fought 8 guys in the UFC, including Joe Riggs, Terry Martin. Those are some of the bigger names I fought. Joe Riggs wouldn't stand up with me when we were fighting in the cage. He was taking me down. I think I caught him once, and he didn't want no part of that. Started taking me down. So, it doesn't matter to me. I'd love to see anybody in big name. Like I said, I want big fights, guys in the top 5. Give me a contender fight. I don't care. I live for those moments, and I love being an underdog. I have nothing to lose at that point, and I could just let my hands fly.
It's a fun time for Bare Knuckle as a whole. Like I said, love to see the growth from it. I even more so. I keep asking a lot of it. I'd love to see what we've seen from like the old Pride in UFC early days. We get some tournaments from some of the bigger promotions. Not necessarily have to be champions or whatever, but be fun to see something in a few years as both BKFC, BYB, BKB, whoever it is, build some stuff up and get some fun end of year tournament stuff. It's some of the stuff that made combat sports really fun and connectable.
Like the first UFC with Horace Gracie and stuff. And those tournaments were fun to watch. Fighting the same night.
Yeah, I don't know if we could do one-nighters because so much could happen, especially in Bare Knuckle. Like, what do you guys break when your hands?
Oh yeah.
Then there goes that. I mean, what I would think something
a tournament would be awesome.
Over a 4 or 5 month period of time towards the end of the year, Like as we get down to like August, start putting things together to lead up towards that, New Year's Eve or something like that as the big event,
Yeah, I think Bellator was doing that. They had their tournaments and stuff. That was fun to watch.
See, Bellator had already lost all their stars to the UFC. They were in the process of rebuilding everything over again, and sometimes it just doesn't ever work out again. Where you're hearing rumors over this past week that Bellator might be sold. I'm like, what? Like, here we go again. Here comes the monopoly.
Yep,
if they get sold, I just hope it's not anything involved with anything the UFC is doing. That's all. That's the only thing I hope for. Like, to get bought by ONE FC for argument's sake. One buys them. That would make sense considering they're trying to make headway over here in the United States. They already have a good market over there in Asia. That's something I would like to get behind because what they could do with an expanded roster like that and a TV deal in the United States. That could be fun.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
And what was that?
I said that would be interesting having a big tournament, like get your top 2 fighters in each weight division from each different promotion. That would be sweet. And then find out who's the best of the best.
I want to see, like, we're in this stage in combat sports where we can't really see the best fighters fight the best fighters in the world. It just for whatever reason, because how it works out on the promoter side of things, this fighter is stuck over here, this fighter's stuck there. It's kind of where we were like when after the UFC bought, Pride and everything like that. What we were hoping to finally see is the best fighters fight the best fighters. We probably had about 2 years of that in MMA, right? And then it disappeared. We've never seen it again. You know, we were told we were going to get Anderson Silva and George St. Pierre in their primes. We never got that. We were told, you know, Brock Lesnar was going to fight Fedor I don't know how many times. No, it was going to be Randy Couture, but then it never happened. It's just some of these things that you would like to see be actually come to fruition. You know, all of us at the end of the day, we're fight junkies. We you know to the point of we want to see the best fighters fight. Who? I don't care how much the promoter is paid, because at the end of the day, the promoter gets paid the most. I just want to make sure the two guys or two girls that happen to be in the ring or the cage that night are getting paid the best, or fighting the best at the best time in their careers. That's what everyone wants to see. We want to see who are the best. We don't want to see who's the most marketable. We don't want to see, you know, we don't want to see this fighter beat up on an inferior opponent, because it's what we see sometimes. And sometimes it's not even necessarily the fighter's fault. Look at what's going on with Christine Ferreira right now. She's ran through just about every girl in almost 2 weight classes. You know, girls coming up, girls sliding down, just try to make interesting fights where you just pull Beck Hyde out of pseudo-retirement. She hasn't fought in BKFC in 5 years. Probably one of the better fights that she's had in the past year. But who's next?
Yeah, they were going at it. That was a fun fight to watch, actually. So,
and it's one of those things like, what happens if Beck doesn't get that big cut? What happens then? Because then it's really an interesting fight. But
I agree.
The coulda, shoulda, wouldas of what happens in combat sports. If this cut didn't happen, if this didn't happen, the battles of inches inside the game of battle of inches.
Yep, it's part of the game. So
I would have to say this. I knew Beck wasn't going to be an easy out for Christine, but she definitely gave a lot more than I thought she was. Looking forward to seeing, hopefully, if she continues to stay in Bare Knuckle, at least for the next few years, maybe to get to see them run that back again. That was a fun one. First one in a while. You know, didn't really care for the Starling fight. The Bret Hart fight the second time didn't really make that much sense to me. She was on a run, but I didn't feel like she had caught in Christine yet.
I seen Cyborg said she was thinking about coming over to BKFC.
Says before she's done, she wants to do one
before she retires. She wants to fight once in BKFC. That'd be fun to watch too.
But question, where like who fights who where?
Right. She's I think she's,
if you look at the girls who fight at her weight class aren't in BKFC.
Yep, and they're not gonna want to go. They're not gonna want to go do that with her.
35 or 45.
Right.
So
they're not gonna want to go do that with Cyborg.
My interesting question is, if Chris does that, where does she go?
Right. I don't see anybody wanting to fight her either.
I mean, I think people would want to fight her, but the question is, what weight are they fighting at?
Right.
How much they get paid?
She's had trouble making weight too.
Because that's not an easy task. Even if you do take her elbows and knees away, her hands are just as deadly.
I'd like to see her and Nguyen do some bare knuckles.
Oh man, and especially Amanda probably, is. I think after this fight, we might be done with MMA.
Yep.
I know she wasn't caring for the rematch with Juliana Pena. Pena has the injury. Adania gets the fight, who's what Amanda wanted to see initially, and she was already throwing that R word about this time last year, saying she had about a year left in her. So I wouldn't be surprised if she walks away after that. And then I would very much like to see Dave throw some ridiculous amount of money at both Amanda and Chris to have a bare knuckle boxing fight.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, I know probably one of the first few times that we would see Chris go in there as a dog, considering what Amanda has done over the past 3 to 4 years in her legacy. She is the female GOAT at this point in time. I don't think anyone can argue that.
Nope.
That
would be a fun one for the fans to watch.
I mean, she's beating everybody. Even the champion who was ruling the flyweight division swatted her back down there quite a few times. And the only one that did it was Juliana, and I just think it was just styles makes fights, and Pena does have a great skill set. She has really good wrestling. She is tough as nails, and she just one of these people who doesn't go away. Thing with Amanda is she normally cracks people and they go running. That's when she literally rips them apart. I don't think what happened in that first fight will happen again, but I think what we've seen in that second fight is was just Amanda toying with her that second time around. I didn't want to see the third fight. I thought Amanda had already figured it out. I mean, I could be wrong. It could be Juliana can reduplicate that, but just didn't feel like that was ever going to be the case there. Just my feel on it.
Right. I would have to agree with you on that one.
And it's not disrespect to Juliana. You know, I know a lot of people don't really care for her as she speaks of how she speaks of the game and things of that nature, but she's one of the best, 135-pound women on this planet for a reason. Tough as nails woman is definitely someone you would want to have in your corner, as a part of your training camp, whatever. She's an invaluable person. Just she just happened to exist at the wrong time when Amanda Nunes is running things. Now, I asked Josh, I'm going to ask you this. I came across this picture, right? Now you get stuck in an alley with this, right? Mike Tyson at age 17, Brock Lesnar at age 16. These two basically have new necks, right? If you had to sit there and say there's a way to get out of this, if you had to go pick one way to go, Mike Tyson, Brock Lesnar, which way you going?
Shit. I would flip a coin on that one and run with it.
Like fucking that, right?
I'd flip a coin and run on that one. Whatever went. Either way, it'd be a tough one.
At that point in time, just try to run through Mike and pray he doesn't get a hold of you.
Right.
Because Brock's getting a hold of you. That's what we know.
Yeah.
You can't try to wrestle with that. And he was, like I said, man, you take a look at that picture. Mike had no neck. Brock had no neck. And they were freaking not even 20-year-old men at the time.
Nope, they're in their young prime.
I say this all the time, like we are where we are when the sport got started. But if you imagine this sport was getting started when the UFC was first going off in the early 90s, right? If you could have put some of those athletes that were in boxing, MMA, whatever, into like a Mount Rushmore of who could have been potential bare knuckle boxers, who would be 5 guys or girls that you would pick to kind of start off what bare knuckle boxing is or was?
Who would I pick, you said?
Yeah, like I guess your Mount Rushmore of potential fighters who would have been in bare knuckle boxing at the time.
Probably in their prime, I would want to say Nick Diaz, Amanda Nunes for a female, Cyborg for a female, George Masvidal, big heavy hitters like Anthony Rumble Johnson.
I think Anthony Johnson would have been an absolute monster in bare knuckle boxing.
Yep, I agree.
I seen him at when he was still fighting at 170 pounds in the UFC at UFC 101. I covered World Series of Fighting 2 after he got released, and when they brought him up to 205, I'm like, how is that the same dude I seen 2 years ago? He's like, it tells you how much he was cutting and how much he was walking around at that time. Obviously, now we know like he had some serious thyroid issues from the weight cutting, from from other stuff, and had other medical issues he was battling quietly by himself. But man, he was so electric.
Yeah, he was. He was a fun one to watch, especially in his prime.
Two names I always throw out there is Rampage and Wanderlei, man.
Oh yeah.
Like I know Wanderlei was known for his crazy side. Like he had the intimidation factor, and he had hands and a chin when he was a young man.
And they have those big hands too, big heavy hands.
And Rampage, if he was meant to be in bare knuckle boxing, I don't care what anyone says. I
Yeah,
mean,
he would be a fun one to watch.
literally leg kicks cost him a world title run in the UFC. Does that not tell you he was meant for bare knuckle boxing? I don't know
Oh
what
yeah,
else to say.
those leg kicks would be damaging. I took some kicks in my last MMA fight for a title against Adrian Harjaban. He caught me with some nasty kicks, some side kicks I hadn't felt before. It was awkward. I mean, I didn't feel them during the fight, but after the fight, I was like, "What the hell?" Some
All
deep
right. Well,
bone
as I get
bruising.
ready to wrap this one up, Eric, appreciate the time. What I typically do here is the end is kind of throw the proverbial microphone over you. Anyone you'd like to thank, trainer partners, teammates, shoot out your social media sites, any sponsors you might have. The floor is yours, Eric.
All right. I just want to say thanks to all my teammates, from Mohawk to Erick Perales, Ruben Esparza, Coach AC. Big sponsors of mine that are good friends of mine are Joe Shaluga, Nate Williams, my shirt guy, and I think offhand I can't remember all my sponsors and stuff, but I also want to say happy Cinco de Mayo para toda mi raza ahí watchando. Happy Cinco de Mayo. I had to sport my Mexican cap for it. And cheers. Dos Equis.
Well, cheers, Eric. Appreciate the time tonight, and definitely looking forward to when you get back in there. Hopefully, we'll get you on here before your next fight, man.
Sounds great, man. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, Eric. All right, everyone. With that being said, I gotta switch gears right into the next one. My man Eddie Truck Gordon, as always, gives me some time. What is up, big man? How we feeling tonight, my brother?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I can't complain, man. Anytime I'm rocking with you, it's an amazing night.
We always find ways to have some fun on here. Obviously, lots of fun stuff going on in the combat sports world. Lots of changes going on in life and in the world and things of that nature. Man, I know you were excited. I seen you were hyped up about it. Were you surprised to see what Platinum Mike Perry did to the man Luke Rockhold, man? I mean, I was talking about it leading up to it. I was kind of feeling I think Luke might have been out of his depths a little bit. Did you feel what we seen Saturday night was a true epitome of what he would have been in bare knuckle boxing?
I say that all of Luke's assets was eliminated because he's a kicker. He's a great grappler. He's not known for his hands. He's not known for being I don't know, like a tough guy, like a dog. Like he's more like finesse. So everybody knows Mike Perry's a fighter, man, by nature. So I thought it was a bad matchup. I did think he was a bigger man, so he would have been all right, but he just wasn't ready for that smoke, man.
I already said that. As soon as I started seeing them talking, I'm like, it's over. And my son was like, "What do you mean it's over?" I'm like, it's over. Luke's talking some nonsense. It's over. It's like, why?
Listen, man, it's really hard when you're as pretty as Luke.
Way they already talking now. Like he's acting all goofy at the weigh-ins, trying to like put his hand on. I'm like, come on, man. I can already see like he's trying to get in Mike's head to get back that the advantage he knows he doesn't have anymore.
Exactly. You're spot on. You're spot on. I tell you what, Bare Knuckle won me over though, man. I'm like,
oh. See, that's what I want to talk. I seen that. I'm like, wait a minute. Eddie's been away from the sport for a few years, but I guess watching what Mike was doing and going to Eddie Alvarez getting back in there looking really good against Chad Mendez. You had Conor McGregor there ringside. He's looking pretty excited to see what he sees in BKFC. Dave Feldman has done a really remarkable job in less than 5 years.
They've done a phenomenal job.
Stuck in purgatory almost 10 years ago here in Philadelphia. Lost his promotion, was bought up by Rob Haydock and CFFC. Him and his son were walking around, just they look lost. He finally got out of that, and they started BKFC, and he has hit the ground running, and he's got something.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. Like what most people don't even know, man. I was in contracts in contract negotiations talks with them 2 years ago, and it just fell through because I was like, I I wasn't really feeling it, but now, man, I'm just looking at it grow, and I know that it fits my style. Like just everything about it, man. I don't know. It's very, very tempting. So I don't know. I might be
Oh,
breaking some news on here
like
soon.
Eddie's gonna be calling Mr. Feldman soon. Like, listen, you find guys around 200 pounds that need a fight, man. Let me know. Give me a call.
Yo, I'm telling you, man. If I see the right card, I'm all in. I'm all in because
I'm waiting for Dave to bring it to Philly, man. That's what I'm waiting for.
I like Philly's what started my career, man. I went to Anderson Silva versus Forrest Griffin at Philadelphia UFC 101, and once I saw that live, I was like, I don't know nothing about this sport, but I gotta get into that octagon. And that was the first fight I actually saw live, and I fell in love. And from that day, that's when I started training.
It's something special to watch. First off, that fight was something, man. like listen, if you, I say this all the time. I was in disbelief the whole time until I got home and physically watched it because when you're watching live, it's not the same thing as when you're able to sit at home on the TV and watch it broken. I swore that they stopped that fight early until I seen Forrest's eyes. I'm like, wait a minute, nope, he don't know where he at.
He don't know where. And it was just so slick.
The way
Anderson Silva
did it, it was just the way he did it, man.
It was like it was like a walk off.
He barely he didn't even break a sweat, man. It was just like I was just talking about with Erick, like, you know, when Amanda Nunes had Juliana the second fight, she was just playing with her. She was just playing with her food. She didn't want to just do away with it. Anderson wasn't like that in his prime. He seen blood. He went after blood, and he went home and cashed his check.
Yeah, you're spot on. And Anderson Silva is he's a very interesting character, man. Like you just never really know. And you know, I regret him not speaking English fluently. I feel like if he spoke English fluently, he would have been a mega star. Like he would have been the Conor McGregor.
I wholeheartedly, like, if someone in his camp, God bless Ed Soares for being the translator, but he should have paid somebody to just be with him 24/7 to teach him English. Oh my God!
Forget about it. Forget about it. He'd have been that modern day. He would have been the Conor McGregor.
Because he was way beyond, like, in the cage level. He's way beyond anything Conor is ever going to be.
Facts. Yeah.
But
he was special, man.
Conor is 200 times what Anderson is outside of the ring. Outside of the ring.
And it seems like that's what matters now.
You can put a price tag, a dollar amount. Like, this is something you can't buy. If you have it, you have it. And if you don't, you do everything you can to get it. It's the same thing when we're talking about talent inside the ring or the cage. It's either you have it or you don't, or you do anything to get it. And it's funny how the athlete needs both now.
Yeah.
we live in this. It doesn't matter if you're the best in the world. It doesn't matter if you're the best boxer, the best grappler, the best submission specialist. You have to have all of this plus the other thing.
Facts.
Because we live in the entertainment world on top of living in the fight world.
That is so spot on true, man. It's almost a gift and a curse, though, because, you know, some of the best fighters in the world, people don't even know their name. You look at Demetrius Johnson, and I feel so bad for him.
It still makes me sick how, like, everyone talks about Jose Aldo this and Chad Mendez that. Man, none of y'all give DM any love, man. He literally created a move in cage. And y'all,
that slam armbar was the freakiest thing. I felt bad when UFC said they couldn't promote that man. Yo, I'm not the friggin' the end all be all marketer, but if you gave me UFC's budget, I would have been able to market Mighty Mouse, and everybody would have been a household name.
I would have created a freaking Xbox channel specifically for UFC athletes for him to play other fans on a monthly basis. That alone would have sold half of his fights.
Straight up. Straight up.
He had one sponsor. It was what? Oh, Xbox.
Yo, yeah. It was It was so much
that would be
missed
the
stuff with
easiest
that
job
kid,
to
man.
promote him. It was just the simple fact that he was hard to promote in ring, that he wasn't the guy that he wasn't Anderson Silva going out there with all these highlight reel finishes. He had his finishes when he needed them.
Yep.
But it just the way his style was, it was more of a grappling, wrestling.
But he was just so smooth, though. When you watch his fights, he was just so smooth and technical and relentless. Like, I think he had the latest finishes ever in history. Like, he was just a savage, man.
He was the guy he's the guy that kind of counts inches in the cage more than anyone else ever did. And I say it all the time, like in combat sports is a game of inches inside of a game of inches inside of a game of inches. There's so much that goes in it. We sit there and say, "Oh, football's a game of inches." I'm like, I mean, it is, but there's other sports that just mean so much more.
Yo, you're this close away from a knockout, man. Every time somebody punches, man, and you block, and a block versus a KO is literally millimeters. It's crazy.
And we see it all the time where just like the littlest thing, like, all right, like what happened to Valentina when she just lost her title was just a half hair slow throwing that spinning back kick that she loves to throw.
Oh, that spinning back kick.
World title.
That thing haunted me, man. It reminded me of when Luke and Chris Weidman fought. Like, that's the kind of same vibe I got from it. And it's a tough sport, man. It's a crazy tough sport.
It's one of the toughest, and it's in a unique spot now. Like I was talking to the couple of the bare knuckle boxers we just had on. MMA isn't what it used to be for whatever reason, and neither is the UFC. That name doesn't hold the same ring that it held about 5 years ago.
Well, I think the reason being is because they went towards the entertainment. They're leaning towards the entertainment side of it. You got guys that are ranked number 10, ranked number 9.
Has made the best fighters in the world fight the best fighters in the world since he bought Pride. Let's be honest.
It's crazy. It's crazy, but you can't argue that.
Also, I think is Dana is doing so much more than he did back then that he can't do everything. Like we sit there and seen him almost a year ago when he lost Shane Burgos. It's like we fucked up. He should have been resigned.
Yeah.
But when you see him say those things, he misses Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta so fucking much, and it hurts the sport overall because of it. And it's why it's become this. It's about who's selling this and who's doing this and who's entertaining.
That's it, man. I think it's sad though because I thought the thing that I loved so much about mixed martial arts was the purity of it. It wasn't no politics. It wasn't no hoopla. It was the best fighter. You go out there, you win, you do your thing. Nobody could deny you. But, it started with John Fitch getting cut. All this guy did was lose championship fights. like, just wasn't entertaining enough. You look at Kobe Covington, where he was on the verge of getting cut, and then he started his whole Kobe chaos trend. And it's just like, guy hasn't fought in a year and he's getting a title shot. Like, I think that's disrespectful.
The Chael Sonnen heel role, in my opinion.
Yes.
And I interviewed him before he did the whole chaos thing. So like he is a normal dude on the regular side of things, but that whole thing changed to exactly who he is on every level. All of a sudden, like he stopped following me, responding to messages and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't care. Like if that's you don't want to do interviews, that's cool. You don't want to do interviews, that's fine. I could care less about that of it. But it's just like the fact that we used to talk on a consistent time before all your fights, and then now all of a sudden you can't be bothered.
It's crazy, man. So sometimes the limelight get to people, man. I'm a big believer that you are who you are, and you got to be who you got to be because at some point the crowd always stops cheering. All you fighters remember this shit, man. At some point, the crowd always stops cheering, and you always get passed by because Father Time is undefeated. And if you forget the people that support you and rock with you, then shame on you.
And that's going to bring me to another part of it. I don't know if you've seen it. I got into it with First Round Management about a few months ago because of one of their athletes, and them had decided that they were going to ask me for money for an interview.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sadiq Dumas. He was making his debut. What was it, a few months ago? He fought
making his debut, and he actually for money.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. Right. So a few weeks later, I seen him doing an interview, and I asked him I'm like, hey, did you ask them for money? He immediately jumped in my inbox, was like, started cursing me out on some crazy shit. Right. So like I was talking to a few people. I'm like, you know what? Because this was like a few months after the whole Patty thing. And I was like, is this becoming a trend now where like a debuting guy in the UFC that nobody knows about asking for money for interviews? So then, Abe came at me on social media, like this uncredited media member. I'm like, uncredited, dude, come on, please. Why? Because I ain't go to pay to go cover the pay to go cover an event in the last 2 years. I'm uncredited. You should have protected your athlete. You shouldn't have let him exchange DMs with me. You should have told him to contact you. And then there is no DM between me and your athlete, and him making himself look like a fool.
I like Abe. Abe's a good dude too. That's kind of crazy.
Listen, I still say his guy ran with it. Basically, he went and told him to blow me off, right? And then he went and asked for money. So instead of saying to blow me off, he should have tell him to send me an email. And then there is none of that.
Yeah.
You're supposed to protect your athletes first and foremost, especially if you're the management company being paid to do so.
That's wild.
I shouldn't have had the back and forth with him. As soon as I asked for the interview, Abe should have tell him to send me an email.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. That's wild. Some people egos bigger than just bigger than they even realize. And it always comes back to you, man.
It's like the ego thing. I just think like, we're at a time where like everyone's doing things to be monetized. Everyone's trying to do things to make a dollar here, make it like sometimes I guess because of how everything's changed, both between athlete and media wise, that they think that's an acceptable conversation. I would never think that of had anyone ask me that in combat sports, because it's never happened. I've had guys who are NFL analysts who are on network TV shows, multiple network TV shows, had one of their agents ask me for a fee along them lines. I've never had anyone in combat sports ask for me to pay for an interview. It was just
it's crazy, man. That's the world we're living in now, man. Everybody's trying to make a buck. I'm big on.
I ain't gonna knock him for it, but how everything went down, I'll knock him for that.
Yeah, listen. Maybe he was pressed for money. Who knows what the story is?
Because he had some financial, some personal stuff going on in his life that I'm pretty sure he needed some extra funds for. And if that's the case, that's why you got your management company. They're supposed to look out for you to the fight, especially you have to make your debut, right? You'd think that's something they would do.
Yeah, man. You know what? And sometimes you gotta just be humble, be honest, and be real. And it's hard, right? It's hard.
Well, no, and here's the thing. Like Eddie, you know me. I'm probably one of the easiest going guys in the world. If you don't got time, tell me you don't got time. If you don't really feel up for it, tell me you don't feel up for it. I'm not going to be the guy that gets all butthead hurt and upset. But when you come at me in a disrespectful way, like how everything went about, I'm gonna make an example of a situation. Now, apparently, I was clout chasing because I did that. That I was, I set him up from the gate. He knew that I knew he was going to turn me down. I'm like, guys, are you really running with that line? He made a mistake. You guys made a mistake. I fucked up. Ain't never going to happen again. Move on.
People are crazy, man. People are truly, truly crazy. And, you got to chalk it up. You got to just take an L sometimes. Yeah. As an athlete, you got to own up to your shit. And if you do, like, life is just better. People like authentic. Look at John Jones. Once he started being authentic, all of the crazy stuff he did,
authentic again, because
people start loving this dude.
He definitely found his heel role with himself over the last few years.
Right? And it's like, he's probably like, I should have never played this God role. I should have been who I am. Like, I'd have been It had to be like a Nick Diaz
if
kind of.
stopped all them freaking former champions in the fashion, it'd been hard to not have a god complex in that situation.
Dude, he did some phenomenal stuff, man. He really did some amazing things. Like, I think it's really hard if anybody said that he's not the GOAT between him and Demetrius Johnson. Like, those two are just.
We always throw out there. Like, I'm at the point, like, you can't deny John's. No one's beaten John. No one's beaten John. If you want to bring up Matt Hamill, let's go watch the tape and let's bring up Matt Hamill. But
there's one person that's gonna beat John Jones.
Beating him.
One person's beating John Jones.
You already spoken on the only one that will beat him.
Who's that?
Father Time at this point in time.
Yo, Steve, you're good. You're on point. You're on point.
I mean, it's like, listen, I was hard on John, absolutely, because who was not in love with watching what he did during that run from, what was it, UFC 118 till current. I mean,
it's crazy.
Getting that late minute title fight against Shogun Nguyen, dispatching Shogun, ripping through Lyoto Machida. The stuff with Rampage, his fights with Gustafsson, like he has earned the fact of someone putting him on a Mount Rushmore, sitting there saying these are our goats of this era. John Jones is without a doubt the first one you have to put on there.
No doubt. And you said it best. He's fighting like legit champions and like all killers. Like everybody he fought was unreal. Like no easy fights. Like so he done
the dangerous prospects too. Like he probably lost the Reyes fight, but because he's champion, he wound up getting the champion's decision. Unfortunately, Reyes has not been able to recapture the magic of that fight since then.
Yeah.
But it's one of these things, like he fought everyone at their best. He didn't wait till somebody was this or wait till someone's that. He took out DC. He took everything. So you can't. Like, as much as we want to say, oh, well, he did anything he did outside of the cage and or ring has absolutely nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with his resume. His resume is second to none. Oh, well, he cheated. Are you sure? Are you sure now? Now, we know that he was doing what he was doing, what everyone was fucking doing at the fucking time. So let's not play everyone's an angel when it came to that period of time.
Listen, man, I know for a fact that I lost to some guys that are on the sauce. And my thing is, like, if you're going to do some shit and you can live with yourself, then that's on you. But like mixed martial arts is the purest form of competition. So, it is what it is, man. It's wild.
Now, I got to ask you, like, as far as like the other crazy stuff going on in the combat sports world, are you a fan of the Jake Pauls of the world? Like, are you a fan of the influencer now being involved in combat sports?
I think that it's an insult to like fighters who put the time in, right? But I can't knock him for trying. If somebody's gonna pay you, you can't not do it. And I give him respect because he's speaking up for fighter pay. I look at how everybody's dogging and treating Francis like
making him sound like he's crazy for asking what he's asking. He's trying to make change for the sport in general, not just for himself.
Did you hear why he fell out with ONE FC?
It's not wrong.
He wanted his opponent to get paid a minimum of $1 million.
Well, I think that should be. If you're fighting for a title fight in the biggest combat sports promotion in the freaking world, I'm sorry, $500,000 is not allowed to ask for.
When they're making millions on top of millions, what people don't realize as well is how much the UFC really makes.
Your guys' likenesses. Like, you guys have stuff that we've already done. You guys have cards and stuff like that. Does any fighters outside of UFC or WWE have cards made for them? No, the fuck they don't.
It's crazy. They make so much money off of people, man. Like, they don't. Like, an average fighter, a no-name fighter, would bring in millions of dollars for the UFC that people don't even know about. Between ticket sales, between getting them on local cards, between just people don't realize and think about how much revenue is being generated for not the Conor McGregors of the world, but just even an average fighter. There's so much money being made, and fighters are just not getting paid.
Like, let's
And
not even forget, like, when they're in their hometown and they don't fight on it or whatever, they do meet and greets at Dave and Buster's or Wild Wings or whatever. So their athletes are always doing something involved with the UFC as it is anyway. So yes, they should be getting way more money. This is something I will always advocate for you guys for this, always, because
it's spot on, man.
Francis is crazy. No, he's not fucking crazy. He's just the one that has the balls enough to sit there and say whatever.
He's the realest. Yeah, when I found out
Mark Hunt is a bitter man that didn't get what he wanted. No, he's mad because he didn't get what he was supposed to get while he was doing it.
Yep. I got to give Francis so much props and respect for what he's doing and why he's doing it. It's not even about him. This dude turned down $20 million because his opponent wasn't going to get paid. That's mad respect. That's respect.
But it's not just like that. It's because he wants the rest of you guys to experience what he's having the luxury to be in the position to do. Not less than 5% of you guys are ever in this fucking position, and no one has had the heart to do what he's done.
That's true.
And
that's why he's a legend to me. He's a GOAT.
Head down, catch their paycheck, and move the fuck on. The other guy can worry about himself.
That's the problem.
Showing us.
That's why there will never be a fighters union, because there's too much segmented parts. They take care of the guys at the top, and then the guys that are in the struggle don't got the balls to step up for what's right. And that's why there will never be a fighters union. That's why MMA, they're going to keep on taking advantage of the fighters, because bottom line, I don't care who a promotion is. If you don't have fighters, you do not have a promotion. You cannot have basura and make people tune in and watch garbage. It's just not. It's the talent is the fighters, and if you don't pay the talent, shame on you. Are you taking risk in production and promotion, this and that? Yes, but without the fighters putting on the shows, nobody wants to see it. Bottom line.
I think is what it's going to take is when Conor walks away. When Conor walks away from the UFC completely and does what he starts to do, I think we'll start seeing some of these pins start to fall down.
We'll see, though, man. Conor got so much stuff going on the outside. He might just say, screw it, I don't want to deal with it, and just move on. And you got to think about who all the owners of the UFC, they're like Conor's business partners.
So why was he at BKFC this past weekend taking pictures, grabbing belts and whatever?
And look at Dana. If that was anybody else, Dana would have ripped him a new asshole.
Oh yeah, if that was anybody else on his card, they would have
he was like
to his off or flown to
he's like Conor got caught up in the moment. He had a couple drinks. I get it. I'm not upset. Like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I think the most unique thing about that was him being ringside for that, coaching two of his former opponents.
Crazy, right?
Yelling Eddie, uppercut. And he lays an uppercut and like kind of like shoots out over to Conor.
Yeah, it was wild, man. It was wild. They put on a good show, man. Amazing show. Credit to them.
Yeah, I think Bare Knuckle, not just BKFC. Like I love what Dada and Mike Vasquez are doing with BYB. They're not going after these big name guys. They're not putting out a lot of money for these big contracts. They're building up weight classes. And it was one of the things that I was talking about with Erick, where like everyone was like, oh well, Chris Cyborg says she wants to fight. Well, it's not going to be in BKFC. They don't have any women above 135 pounds. So was she going to fight Josette Cotton or Jamie Driver? I mean, because BKFC don't have nobody for her. Now, granted, regardless, with Chris, it'd probably be a one-off.
Listen, that's a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah, man, it is. But like I said, it's why I think a lot of people are getting excited from what we've seen this past weekend and what we've been seeing the last few years. BKFC knows how to put on exciting fights. The only question is, can they sustain it? I think Dave is capable of doing that. Got to build up them weight classes, though, man. We can't just have exciting fights. You got to build it up, build up some challengers, build up some champions. See what happens the next few years.
It'll be exciting. We'll see. We'll definitely see. I'm in for the ride. Dave, if you watching, man, make me an offer. That's something that I can't refuse.
He's pulling out his.
Oh, I'm dropping the camera. I'm getting excited.
You gotta love it, man. I mean, it's something to be excited about, man. It's a fun sport. It's fun to kind of see what goes on. I guess the only thing is asking you, if you were to go do it, you're gonna be careful with them hands, man. Or is he just gonna let them go? I'm
gonna let them go, man. Listen, I was built for this, man. I was built for this. Knock on wood. I never had any hand issues. Bare knuckle. Listen, man. It fits me very, very, very well. Like I don't see many. I watch these fights, man. I have my own gym. I train people, clients, this and that. I don't see too many people that would want to stand up and box with me. Like, it's just not many of them. So
normally how it used to go down in MMA is the key to beating you is they finding a way to get you on your back.
Yeah, man. You know, I started the sport mad late. My jiu-jitsu, I friggin' started when I was 27. So that was the key. Not many people wanted to stand with me, man. So it's
I listen, man. I'd love to see you go in there in BKFC and start tearing some heads off, man. You definitely
it might have to happen, man. It might have to happen. I'm gonna have to go beat people up and be like the DC of BFK, Bare Knuckle. Start doing some commentating. Come out my commentator booth, beat some dudes up. Come back, commentate some more. But you know, I love DC, but I'm the more handsome version, though. He's got to know that.
I think you can do it, man. I think you could be BKFC's DC. You can do
That's
double duty on the desk and in the ring itself, man. It'd be fun.
There's no doubt about it.
Listen, you got me signed up for that. I'm ready for it. Let's get the truck on the road to the BKFC. Let's do it.
That's it. It's going down, Steve. From your ears to Dave's ears, we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, I'll send him a message myself. Like, yo, you got a signed truck, man.
Done. Listen, the inside track is,
you know, and you do a lot of like you kind of touch on it yourself. Like, you do a lot of stuff outside of it since you haven't been really that active. You know, you've been doing stuff in the gym, the personal training stuff and stuff like that. How much fun has that been for you the last few years of just helping people along that transition that you went along your lines to become the Ultimate Fighter winner, to become a UFC fighter? Like, how fun has that been over the last few years?
It's been awesome. It's been truly, truly, truly awesome. Like, for me to give back to people, to give them the same pleasure of how I did to lose weight, to get in shape, to save lives and transform lives. There's been nothing like it. It's super rewarding. When I fought, I thought that was my calling to the world, how I can give back. But what I learned is, you know, saving somebody from dying of heart failure, helping somebody get in shape, helping somebody be able to play with their kids, helping a mother, you know, fall back in love with herself, build confidence. Like, things of that nature is second to none. And that's what gets me up in the morning, man. It gets me excited.
Yeah, you can't put a price tag on that stuff. Giving people the confidence in themselves to feel happy about themselves, to be able to do this, to be able to, you know, things that they didn't think that they were capable of doing on their own. It's just little bit of guidance, a little bit of push. Sometimes it's all it really takes in some people.
Facts, no doubt about it, man.
And it's also about being willing to break your own habits, your own traits. That I think that's kind of like one of the key things that when you're going into those things that you have to sit there and say, like, hey, man, I can't say I'm not going to do this or I can't do that.
Don't exist. It doesn't exist, man. Break down barriers, man.
Now, I asked a few of our guests this one. I'm going to throw it to you. Came across this photo. Want to get your thoughts on this. This is a photo of both Mike Tyson and Brock Lesnar, 17 and 16-year-old. You get stuck in the alley. You got to go left is Mike, right is Brock. Which way you going?
Oh, I'm going Brock all day, every day. Like, I know he's a wrestler, so I'll take my chances. He take me down, try to hump me. But Mike Tyson was, one of the most feared
I'm gonna pull
human
that picture
beings.
back up. He has no neck. Like we make fun of this all the time. Like, could you imagine if he was like, if he didn't get in boxing when he was that age and got into combat sports, no one would have been able to hit him with a guillotine or anything to that nature.
Nothing.
You just burn your arms out.
Dude, Mike was a savage. Oh man, I'm so happy for Mike. Mike Tyson's combat sports legend. Like no name just ring bells, man. Mike Tyson is just the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I said if it came down to like I knew like Brock was gonna try to take, I'll probably just try to run through Mike and pray he doesn't get a hold of me. Because I'm not even messing with Brock. Brock's wrestling. No. That's too big of a boy to get on top of you.
He is a big boy. He got those freaking hammer hocks for hands. Holy smokes.
I'll never forget his 72 hammer fists that were about this far from Randy Couture's face that won him a title.
You're right. Like what he did was crazy too. Brock Lesnar, he's a freak of nature, man. I don't think people give him enough credit.
No.
Starting mixed martial arts, winning the championship, and what he did was amazing. Shane Carwin fighting back, coming back, like unreal.
Because Shane Carwin had some freaking lunch pails too. People tend to forget Shane had bigger hands than Brock. Brock had special gloves made for him. Everyone talked about it. Well, the same gloves that they made for Brock that were so special and made because of how big his hands were, they had a cut to get on to Shane's hand and then tape it back over.
Crazy.
So
crazy.
Brock's was a 4X, Shane was a 5X.
Absolutely bananas.
And still wound up beating that man. Shane was a special one, but another one where can't just have one tool in the tool belt in at the top of the food chain in the UFC.
Yeah,
but
that's
yeah,
true.
What Brock did in that short period of time was special. It's a shame that he had the medical issues that he had. He couldn't continue along them lines, but he was also, I think people were figuring it out. Yeah, his double leg is nasty. Yeah, he's big, he's strong, he's powerful, but he's got a hole in his gas tank.
Cain Velasquez was a savage. He kind of exposed that, man. It was wild.
Yeah, but Cain Velasquez he had a gas tank that just didn't have an end on it. Like,
especially for heavyweight.
You got Cain tired, he come back next round and look like he just got done with round one.
And he had and dude, he was just tough, man.
When we talk about it, like those heavyweights, Randy, Brock, Cain, Junior Dos Santos, like that was a really fun time at heavyweight. You think we're gonna see that many, not just top level, but the characters? I
think we will. I think we will eventually because the money's starting to get there.
Characters.
The money's starting to get good, so you'll see that because when the money gets right, instead of guys playing basketball and football, they're gonna start fighting, and that's when you're gonna see the heavyweight division of mixed martial arts transform.
I think we're in a real fun time for combat sports as a whole because it's not just the UFC, it's not just boxing. As we're talking about, BKFC is on a severe spike over the last 2 years. I think their athletes are way more accessible than the UFC athletes are. I think that's the biggest thing when you're trying to grow a sport is the accessibility that your athletes and engaging with the fans of the sport, etc. And I think
no doubt. There's no doubt about it. My wife's giving me the look right now. I'm about to get my butt beat up.
Uh-oh. She's giving you the look. So wow, I keeping you too long, brother?
Yeah, she's giving me the look. I'm like, oh snap.
All right, I'll put a bow on this one. I know we're having some fun. We're definitely going to have you back on here again. I just sent the cards out to the grading authority this past week, so I should get them back before the end of the month.
I got to hop back on there. You got to tell me when I got to hop back on that bad boy.
Yeah, I definitely do. We been waiting on that one. Mark will let me know when it's coming back. As soon as it gets back here, I'll take some pictures, put it out there, and hit you up. We'll set up a date, man. Do
Yo,
give away, you know,
always.
even if we come on your network, we'll do something on your YouTube channel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. You got to teach me how to do all this streaming stuff, man. This is high tech stuff.
Well, man, dude, they don't need nothing to just go hop on StreamYard, go fill out the thing, right? Fill out for the account. From there, you can log your Facebook, your Twitter, your YouTube. It has stuff for Twitch and stuff as well, so you can stream that from multiple different platforms, all while just going on here.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to give me a tutorial. That's it.
On the back end, like you seen, I was throwing up the photos and stuff like that. Like we could pull up stuff that are specific for topics that you could talk about. Like some of the other stuff that's cool about it, like they have like little bubble windows. Like if like we wanted like to talk about something specific, right? Like when we had John Jones returning, right? Pop stuff up like that. There's even stuff where you can have the links pop up that are clickable.
That's dope. I gotta check this out.
Yeah, man.
I gotta check this out for sure.
Some of the stuff you're doing too, man. It's something really cool to look into.
Listen, if I need help, you gotta throw me a bone.
I definitely got you, brother. You don't worry about it. You know, we always connect, brother. Go ahead.
Yo, Steve, you are the man. Honestly, man. If you guys, I'm sure you guys know this guy's an absolute legend. Like he's a stand-up dude.
Well, I really appreciate you, Eddie. I know wifey's putting us up against it, so you know what we do here, man. Throw it over to you. Anyone you like to thank? You know, any sponsors you're still working with? Anything you want to let the people know about? Shoot out the social media sites, stuff like that. The time is yours, brother.
I appreciate you, man. First and foremost, again, Steve always showing me love. You know, any chance I get to hop on here, it's an honor. You know, I'm working with a couple companies, but what I'm really focused on right now is promoting and helping other people, man. Mixed martial arts gave me the platform. The UFC gave me the platform to create change. So I created the Eddie Chuck Gordon Foundation, which helps underprivileged kids. So you can go check out my website, EddieChuckGordon.com, and that has all the information that you need on the actual foundation. It's a not-for-profit. I've been funding this thing for the last 5+ years myself. You know, it's all about giving back to the community, showing underprivileged kids that doesn't matter what obstacles they run into in life, they have the ability to pick themselves up. So that means the world to me. Go check me out on all social media platforms. I think I'm now Truck Gordon on everything: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you name it. I'm about to be on StreamYard, that too. So check it out. And once again, you guys are absolutely logging into one of the best shows, one of the best dudes. Steve always looks out, and he's got a friend in me forever. So anytime he needs me, I'll be there to answer the call, man. So I appreciate you again, Steve, for bringing me on.
Always love, brother. Always love. Appreciate the love here at the end, as always, man. You know, always got respect for you. You know, win, lose, draw. You know, always respect the man before the athlete.
I appreciate you, man.
Say that to everyone when we're doing this on any level, man. Respect the person before the athlete. You know, we see a lot of this stuff on social media, people jumping in athletes' DMs, cursing them out, losing fights. You cost me my parlay. You killed my parlay. Like, these dudes give a flying F, dude. Are you kidding me? Get out that man's DM. This is what we talk about. Like, the day and age is so crazy. People are so freaking nuts with how they do things and how they think things work in life. Stop. Slow down for a minute. Think past yourself, man. These people are human too. You know, people like Eddie, you know, people like, you know, like some of the other fighters that we talked about, they care about you supporting them. But listen, they don't want that, man. They don't want to go in their social media accounts, have to go through the 10 messages of fans telling them how they screwed up this, how terrible they are at that. They should do this. How they
it's the gift and the curse, man.
Ones, right, Eddie? Eddie, I can beat you up. I can beat you up, Eddie.
Yo, some of them DMs is wild. It's wild. We gotta have a DM show where you just go through DMs and you start
Oh,
answering
man.
DMs.
Yo, I think I might do that. I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna get a bunch of y'all together just so we can we can go through some DMs to make fun of. I still think
love
one
it.
of the funniest ones. I seen come across. Jess I posted after the big boxing event, right? Someone had posted a meme of her, right? First one was the guy like stopping from the fight, and then obviously they showed the picture of Jess from when she had her head split open. Well, someone was hopping in her DMs, was like, "Why did you make that? Like, you weren't even that good in the UFC." Like, first off, she didn't freaking make it. She seen it was her picture, and reposted it.
People are crazy, man. But
Yeah,
those are the
man,
people that
people are crazy, but
that
I guess that's the freaking world we live in with technology
yes,
and social media and stuff like that. There's no we need to bring back bully beatdown just in another in another way where that line Mike Tyson likes to use so much that people are so used to talking shit because they don't get punched in the fucking mouth. Well, you should be
exactly.
able to give these athletes, performers, etc., the ability to confront their social media bully.
That'll
Looking
be
like
an amazing show.
messages, things of that nature.
I'm logging in for that show for sure.
We don't even need it on MTV. Put that on Fox, man. Eddie,
Man.
appreciate the time as always, brother. Definitely be in touch.
Yo, you're the man, Steve. Much love, man. I appreciate you,
Stay
champ.
healthy, man. Let's get you in BKFC, brother. Let's do it.
That's it. That's the next one. I'm coming in when I sign.
Oh yeah, that's what we got to do. We got to make the announcement here. Hopefully.
That's it. Done. Let's go.
Right,
Get
man.
Dave on the line.
Appreciate you,
champ.
brother. Be safe. I'll be in touch.
Later, champ.
All right, everyone. That was Eddie Truck Gordon, UFC veteran, PFL veteran of life in itself. I'm not sure what's going on with Mr. Ollison. I'll give him another minute because actually me and Eddie went about 15 minutes over. Let's give him another few minutes, see if he makes it on here. Obviously, UFC288 this weekend. You have Henry Cejudo returning to try to claim his gold that he submitted away when he retired. Aljamain Sterling. It's going to be in the backyard here in Jersey. Should be a fun event. Obviously, lots of stuff going on in the bare knuckle boxing world. BYB17 is next weekend at Rock Hill. Obviously, we had Josh on. Not sure if it's going to give him another minute or so. Then I'll send us on our way. But a lot of fun tonight. Appreciate Josh for his time. Big fight coming up. BYB17 in Rock Hill, South Carolina, against Mark Irwin for that Police Gazette Diamond lightweight title. Should be an interesting fight. Really appreciate Erick Lozano for hopping on. Really hope he gets one of the up and coming guys in that middleweight division. Hopefully he's able to run back and get back in there with Mr. Lorenzo Hunt and the current reigning champion that they have up there. Eddie, I really hope Eddie gets in there, man. Eddie's a really fun guy to watch. Obviously, I might be a little partial. He definitely loves hopping on here, shooting the shit with me, showing us some love here. Combat Deviants, Belly Up Sports, all the other programs that I've had him on over the years. Eddie's definitely a rare human being. So as much as he's showing me love, Eddie's definitely one of the ones that you definitely love to have on. As a friend in your corner, being able to pick up the phone and give him a call, being able to reach out to him for other things outside of media stuff. He's a rare human being. So, not sure what's going on with Trevor, but hour 47 minutes into this, 48, actually. Guess that will put a bow on this one. Other than that, appreciate both Josh, Erick, and Eddie for their time tonight. Hopefully we can get Mr. Ollison back on here again, either after his fight next weekend against Mr. Jett. we'll see if he's victorious. Hopefully, he's unscathed and we can get him rescheduled and back on there. Other than that, fun one here in Combat Deviants. I'll definitely be back here same time next week. But as far as episode 33 goes, that should put an end in this one tonight. I will catch you guys next Friday, same time,